Hello and welcome to the International Pentagon Challenge. My name is Kyanite and together we'll be embarking on a very special Football Manager journey where we'll aim to try and win every major international competition in all 5 continents, forcing our hand to play with hundreds of different types of players and most importantly hopefully create loads of awesome different types of tactics along the way. Once that's complete, only then are we allowed to set our sights on the biggest of all goals, the FIFA World Cup. How many nations will we have to manage until we work our way to the top? How many dodgy names will we have to pronounce along the way? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Alright, hello everyone, welcome to episode 54 of the one, the only International Pentagon Challenge. So, as we know, it's yet another of our FIFA World Cup qualification games. We won the first one 4-0 against Burkina Faso, and we're now up against probably the third favourites to really finish top of the group behind us and Cameroon, and, well, it's Congo. And if we take a look at their schedule, we'll actually see that they've been struggling recently and they failed to even qualify for the African Cup of Nations. So in a way that is kind of added pressure onto us because we really should be beating them. But at the same time, Congo are a decent team in Africa, so it's going to be tough. And obviously, Congo came very close to preventing Egypt in real life even making the World Cup. So we can't underestimate them by any means whatsoever. I'm a little bit frustrated in terms of scouting and whatnot. My scout reckons they're going to play a 4-4-1-1, yet everywhere I look seems to indicate that they're going to be playing a 3-5-2, so it's difficult to predict. But what we do know is that they like a bit of a target man. Well, this reckons they're going to be playing a 4-3-3 narrow, so nobody knows. They have a 197cm target man, and at this level I think he's going to be playing without a shadow of a doubt. What we do know is they concede most of their goals within the first 15 minutes, and they concede a lot of crosses themselves, which would make sense if they play a 3-5-2 to an extent, because obviously they won't be doubling up down the wings. And really, if they end up playing that way, that could end up being perfect for us, because, you know, of our wingers. What would be difficult is then getting service into the lone man in the box, but we can address that if it does become a bit of an issue. Here we go then. So I guess my scout was right, and they are moving away from the 3-5-2, are looking to play more of a 4-4-1-1. They've got this is a really interesting player. Like, he's called Dylan. He's from Congo, but he's also American, Belgian, and Moroccan. I find that absolutely fascinating. And somehow he can speak French, English, Dutch, Hebrew, and Arabic. I mean, bloody hell. Anyways, so yeah, that's how they kind of look. This is the big target man I was talking about. He's only valued at 9.5k, and he's only earning a £5 a week. So if we can't stop him from scoring, our centre-backs need to take a long, hard look at themselves. As for us, it's pretty much the exact same starting lineup we started in the previous episode with and the episode before that. So the only main change is Nedved comes in for someone, for Schalke, not Schalke, the other guy, I can't remember his name now, but yeah. Okay, so in terms of what we're going to do, we're going to basically take retain possession off for the first 15 minutes and try and grab a goal, because that we know that's when they're really at their most vulnerable. In terms of width, we'll go fairly narrow. I think they're going to be pretty narrow as well, despite playing a 4-4-1-1, because they're going to be looking to use the target man. But we'll see. We'll see. And of course, we've gone with a higher defensive line. They've not got that much pace up front, nor on the wings, so it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. Here we go then. Now, one thing we could have problems with is it depends on their centre-backs. They've got quite big centre-backs, so if we find that Said is really struggling to get in on the end of crosses when we whip it into the box, then we could try and go for low drilled crosses. But the last time I mentioned that up against a team with big centre-backs, we won 3-0 and scored 3 headers. So that's why it is really important not to bite the bullet too fast, which is, you know, it is something I've been a victim to before. Should sometimes just let things play out and go from there. But anyways, here we go. El Sayed towards Said, plays it into Karim Nedved, who passes the ball towards the a ball boy, I think. Is that a penalty? No, we're offside. Okay. Damraoui is going to give the ball away as Nedved looks to pick it up. Plays the ball forward towards Said. Wins the second ball somehow. Shouty out wide towards Ramsey. Loves it in a position like this to whip the ball in. But he too is offside. And so far it's been a tale of 3 offsides, I think. They're going to give the ball away again. Etta picks the ball up on a fiver a week to El Damraoui. Takes a shot and he is going to win a corner for the Congolese. Right, okay, 15 minutes have gone. I think we could benefit from playing a little bit wider maybe. They've not really looked like they have that much attacking threat, to be honest. So I think it's going to be very similar to the last game, where it's kind of going to be a case of we're just going to have to keep huffing and puffing, and the goals, you know, we're going to have to be patient, and the goals are eventually going to come. And it is quite useful as well that we are playing with that kind of, with Kamel as the anchor man, because he can play defensive mid, but he's more of a third centre back, to be honest, by trade. And the fact that he has those kind of centre back, that's offside, centre-back-esque attributes is really good for us, because it means we've got our 2 centre-backs and the guy just in front of them really looking to protect up against the 197cm giant up front that they've got. Is that offside? Offside. Didn't finish either. Schalke plays it forward towards Said, and it was a bit of a poor ball, to be honest. I think we're going to maybe toggle retain possession on a little bit. We're maybe a little bit too adventurous at the moment with trying to get the ball forwards, and our passing has been a little bit off, and it's resulting in them really winning opportunities like this. But we could still go 1-0 up here. Said on a bit of a run. El Sayed's going to pick it up, finds Nedved, who shoots, and it just hits the bar. So really pleased actually with the impact Nedved has had so far in midfield. And again, it just kind of feels like the goal will come. We just have to be a little bit patient with it, I guess. But as we also saw in the last episode, in the last episode, even when you're 2-0 up, you need to take your chances. Otherwise, all it takes is one set piece to really bring the game back to 2-1. Oh, unlucky. That was nice football. To bring the game back to 2-1, and it's then anyone's game again. So we need to be careful against Congo. Big side. Going to be good from set pieces. Going to still be a threat with the big guy up front on counter-attacks. So, yeah, we really do need to try and get a 2-goal lead when possible. It doesn't help when your centre midfield blasts the ball over the bar like that, does it? Ngombe is going to give the... Well, actually, no, it seems like their big lad is injured, which could be a blessing in disguise for him, because a direct way of play hasn't really worked for him. So they can bring on someone a bit pacier. I think they might actually be more of a threat when they try to counter-attack. But I think he is still on the pitch. I'll say it is through, and it's another good save from Elenga. So now the question is, do we sacrifice that defensive midfielder for a second striker? And I think the answer has to be yes, up against a team like Congo. I don't really think we've got much of a choice. So we are in a bit of a similar scenario to the previous game. Okay, so again, Said, left-footed, on comes our little master sub in recent years in the form of Sabir. And I trust our 2 centre-backs are going to be able to deal with a guy who's on a fiver a week for now. So we'll leave that as it is, and this guy will come inside as well. So anything whatsoever, feel like we benefit from changing? To be honest, I really don't think so. We're just going to start the second half, keep playing the same way, and again, I feel like the goal is going to come. They have made a substitution themselves. They've taken off the target man, but he looks pretty big as well, and I think the system is roughly the same. So he is probably a target man too, 183 centimetres. Difficult to tell. He's on a bit more than a fiver a week, so he's scoring goals in Congo. But again, I don't really think our 2 centre-backs, who I think play in the Premier League, one of them definitely at least plays in the Premier League, if he still plays for Arsenal, have really too much to worry about. It's just a case of us needing to be patient. El Sayed drills it in. Ramsey's at the back post, and Ramsey normally buries them. So he's gone to Cardiff. He's obviously been shown videos of Gareth Bale for some reason, and it's just not quite happening for him, is it? Not quite sure why I said Gareth Bale. Obviously, he's Welsh, but he never really played for Cardiff, did he? So here we go. El Sayed with a cross. Saba with the header, and it's straight into the hands of Elenga, who's definitely been a thorn in our side so far today. Otter tries to chip our goalkeeper from there, and I think that could very well be Congo's first shot on goal. Come on, boys. Nice ball. He's going to hold it up now. Really waiting for the fullback to bother overlapping. Wasn't quite happening, so let's do something about it. So I'm going to bring on Mohamed Hani as a fullback, also on attack. And I think we could do with really freshening things up in midfield as well. So Ramadan Subhi is going to come on as an advanced playmaker on support to really kind of make up for that. I'll kind of change Nedved to be more of a segundo volante, so he'll look to push into these areas as well. And hopefully... Oh, hello. Okay. Oh, okay. We've scored. Proceed. No, I don't want to proceed with tactical changes anymore. It's a completely different game now, isn't it? Kamal's on a 69, so actually, now that we have the 1-0 lead, let's bring on another centre-back. I've never actually had that happen to me before. Now, this guy, to be fair, he's not brilliant, is he? But we'll bring him on anyways. And I'll put actually Khalifa as the one on the left because he's a slightly better player, so I trust him on his weaker foot a little bit better. And I think what we will do is yeah. Let's still go to the diamond. Just it feels right. I can't really explain why. It just does, and I trust Nedved to really kind of cautiously defend the back four. Now that we have grabbed the goal, it's not really too important for the fullbacks to get involved going forwards. And is there anything here we could potentially look to change? I don't really think so. I think I'm happy with the way it currently is. I feel like changing to the diamond in midfield could potentially work well for us, simply because they're playing kind of a flat 4-4-1-1, and it'll leave us with the defensive midfielder, kind of eyes on Damraoui, who's their main playmaker, and it means we've got that third person here on the counter-attack, but also someone in the space between their kind of middle four and back four. So I feel like that's something we can look to take advantage of. And because Nedved's on defend and Subhi's on support, they'll come back and level it up anyways. Islam Saba does it again, and yeah, he's in a team with Premier League players, and he keeps coming off the bench and finding the back of the net. So can't really complain. And sometimes you find gems like that in Football Manager where attribute-wise don't look that great, but when form's on point, form is on point, you know what I mean? And he most certainly is on form, and if he keeps it up, and we qualify for the World Cup on the back of him, well, you can believe me, he's going to be heading to the World Cup, the 18-year-old lad. Anyways, so, okay, we've scored somehow. I'm not really quite sure how that went in. It looked like Sabo won the header at the back post, but instead of heading at goal, it's like he tried to header it back across goal. Then it went in off the Congolese player's back. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we've scored. And I think we do definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, deserve to be 2-0 up. So, El Sayed, can we make it 3? Gets caught by Elenga, who I do kind of feel sorry for because I think he's had an okay game. And it looks like we are going to be making it 6 points from 6 in our World Cup qualifiers. Now, I know Cameroon were 1-0 up against Burkina Faso the last time that kind of thing came up, so we'll see after this game, obviously, what happened with their game. For us, any points that Cameroon can drop are basically a blessing in disguise, and really reduces the pressure on us to have to really beat them, because they are a good team. I think they even offered me the managerial job. I can't remember. I got offered the managerial job by quite a few African nations. There we go, Cameroon 2. So they have beat Burkina Faso 2-0, or well, it could become more than that, but they are 2-0 up. Let's be honest, they won't manage, you know, our monumental 4-0 victory. They're not exactly on the same level as us, but yeah, playing some nice stuff right now. One more opportunity to try and create something, and it gets put wide of the target. As we saw against a team like Congo, the lad up front on his own, bit of a struggle. For a second then I thought Cameroon had messed it up, because it says on the left-hand side they've only got 3 points, but I'm pretty sure they've played 2 games. But yeah, I can't remember what I was saying before that. Good win, boys. Well done. And so far, you know, bar the loss against Mali, we've not done too badly managing Egypt. I think we took over. And yeah, we took over. Our first game was the Venezuela game, where we were trying things out tactically. You know, a bit of a dodgy draw, but then we've basically won everything that's come our way, bar the Mali game, which, as we know, was incredibly unlucky. And we, of course, went down to 10 men as well, as conceding goals that were wonder goals. So, yeah, that is it for this episode. So, looking good for the World Cup qualifiers. Cameroon. Did Cameroon lose their first game then? Cameroon lost their first game. Unbelievable. I didn't realise that. Kevin Etta on £5 a week fired Congo to a 2-0 victory against Cameroon. Well, I mean, I don't know who he is, but he deserves to be at more than a £5 a week. Bloody hell. He's probably only part-time as well if you're on a £5 a week. So that could be a good sign for us that Cameroon are there for the taking. Feel sorry for Burkina Faso, but that is that. We have friendlies now coming up, building up until the African Cup of Nations, and I'm not actually quite sure when the draw for that will be. It's actually going to be at the end of this month, so let's make it a part of this episode then. Nigeria, the host nation. I'm going to fast forward now to the draw. I'll see you then. Actually, change of plan. I've just realised we have to play Morocco on the 14th. So you'll find out in the next episode. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Sorry if I got your hopes up. Thanks for watching.